Scanning for audio.
Welcome to podcast number 2 of, well, the Summer of Blakes7 version 2. This time we're discussing Shadow, the second of this ongoing Blakes7 jaunt. Yes, I'm not sure whether I like this story or not, and that's me putting my, well, colours and nailing them to the mast early on. Oh look, it's the bloke out of Brushstrokes, looking about 12. His sister's played by someone who looks familiar. I'm not very good at this kind of thing. Yes, Largo is a bit seedy in a BBC twirly moustache kind of a way, but you can let that one go. No, the actual plot, when it is taken apart, even Gan points out, is not a very good idea. The Terra Nostra, or Cosa Nostra, the Mafia, the Space Mafia, let's call them the Space Mafia, run this little space station. They run all of the crime outside Earth, and there is a drug that's practically a red dwarf gag. Possession, instant death. You take the drug, you die. Yes, it's ridiculously addictive, and everyone gets called a dreamhead and looks very pale. But you know what? As anti-drugs messages go, not the most effective. And of course, you've got one of those nice split into narratives. You've got Blake turning up going, "Hey, Mafia," and Mafia going, "What? We want to give you huge amounts of cash in order to take out the Federation." What? That's really a bad idea. At no point in this argument would you have sat down and gone, you know, that's a really good idea. Yes, they've got the manpower. Yes, they've got the connections. And yes, they're just in it for themselves, Blake. Stop it. They are as corrupt as the Federation. Don't do it. Gan can see it, that it's wrong. But we still get the same story. And of course, we also get the excited fun of Psychic Sally. Yeah, it's just not good. I did not enjoy this story. It's one of those ones that I get the urge just to skip past if ever I'm doing a rewatch. You get some very exciting moments, but the collectiveness, it's just so much less. Perhaps this is just received fan wisdom, but it just doesn't do much for me. Perhaps it's because there's no Servalan. The President is mentioned, but he's never actually met in this series. But of course, the big Finnish version of the President is so ingrained in my head that I think he is going to turn up in this story, and he's not. There's no Servalan, there's no Travis, and yes, I know what's coming, but bear with me. This story is methodical, linear, and just kind of pays off. But by far the greatest performance in the whole story is given to the lump of silicon that's pulled on a piece of string. Yes, space cactuses. Just not my cup of tea. Yes, I've got a downer on this story, and I don't know why. Is it the incredibly good acting? I just don't know. The Space Mafia appears to be run by 3 people, 2 of which are management. And everything's just so stark and dull. Even Villa, who begs to go away and become debauched, manages to get away and then come back with a hangover. We don't get to experience much more than that. Yes, radioactive drugs are an interesting storyline, but it's just not my cup of tea. Because if you're going to take out the Federation, at least think your plans through. He's an alpha grade. He had an ordinary and exciting and fairly privileged life. He's not going to be able to figure it out. Perhaps I'm wrong. Perhaps I've just got this very wrong. I don't think so. But very soon there'll be more Blakes7, and that's fine by me. So until then, farewell, and be seeing you. On the 3rd of September 2016, Hooverville 8 will be with us. Possibly the friendliest convention in the whole of the UK. This year's guests include, but are not limited to, Kai Owen from Torchwood, Michael Jason from Doctor Who, the Valiard himself, Katie Manning, Joe Grant, Eric Sayward, Sophie Aldred, good old Ace, and Matthew Dale. For more information and to book your ticket, visit the Derby Quad website, www.derbyquad.co.uk, derbyquad.co.uk. That was the Doctor Who Tin Dog Podcast, available on iTunes, YouTube, Twitter, RSS, Vimeo, and across the internet. Doctor Who and its associated properties are all copyright and trademark of the BBC. No infringement is intended. Why not become a supporter by visiting patreon.com/tindog. Contact the show on tin-dog@hotmail.co.uk. The Tin Dog Podcast is a founder member of the Doctor Who Podcast Alliance.